I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Today, how to turn your house into a steakhouse. We show you a top chef's tip for making the perfect New York strip with a side of truffle burrata mash. This is the show where we take ideas for dinner and turn them into Dinner DeeAs, a great meal we're going to show you how to make. Sharing his recipe today is Chef Jonathan Rodriguez. He's the executive chef at Salimar, the rooftop restaurant at the dual brand Aloft and Element Hotels in Tampa's Midtown. We're all very excited because it's finally steak day here on Dinner DeeAs. And let me tell you, my friend, I'm a big steak guy. That's how I got started on MasterChef, so I am loving what I'm seeing here.
I will tell you, steak is my main course meal that I love to go to. So this is going to be a wonderful thing to encounter when you're at home.
I love it. So what do we have here?
So what do we have over here is our local steak peninsula food service. It has a great New York strip. So this New York strip comes from the short loin, and it's beautiful. It's not very fatty. It's got that beautiful end cap that we'll show when we sear it off. And then you see that little bit of marbleization on there.
I do. Like, let me take out my nifty, handy dandy here, my toy here, my Chef Jeff can, because I want you all to see exactly what we're talking about. So what are we looking for when we're finding a great New York strip?
So for a New York strip, we're looking for something that has that beautiful set of marbleization that's going to give that balance of taste of when it comes to you cooking it down. It's all going to congest with the beautiful flavoring. And when you cook that piece of steak, you're going to feel that fat almost melting into that meat. It's just absolutely tasty.
Now let me ask you this though. Is it expensive to work with a New York strip at the house?
A New York strip is not really. You can definitely find a New York strip, on sales, on deals. A lot of grocery stores do it, but this particular steak, it's not a very expensive steak, as it would be like a tomahawk.
And this is something that you can literally buy the same day, cook the same day, and then enjoy the same day, right?
Absolutely, without a doubt. That's if you're gonna buy a piece of steak, you're gonna cook that the same day. And I wouldn't leave a steak in my refrigerator too long, to be honest with you, Jeff.
I can't. So let me ask you this then. You buy it and it's going to be refrigerated. You're coming home and you're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Should you not just take it right from a refrigerator and put it into the pan?
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that steak, you bring it from home, and you're gonna let it sit room temp. It gives that balance for that perfect temperature internally. So when you're cooking your steak versus you're gonna pull it from the refrigerator, it's just gonna be take a little longer for that cooking temp to reach out.
Totally. So what would be a proper amount of time that you would want it to rest to room temperature then?
15 to 20 minutes will always be a good balance because it gives that leverage for that temperature to balance in the room set.
I love it because we're gonna cook this steak a little bit later, but right now at least we're gonna just bring it right up to temperature.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, when you're working with a beautiful steak, you need a beautiful side.
100%.
And I mean, it's always kind of like it's the steak and potatoes, guys. It's the meat and potatoes. It's how it goes. I see potatoes. What are we going to be making today?
So today we're going to do a truffle burrata mash.
I'm so intrigued by all of this one here. So how do we get there? What do we need to do first?
So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to show you. We're going to grab these beautiful Idaho potatoes, and you're going to just cut the ends as I did over here, and then you could use a peeler.
And what was the reason for cutting the ends?
So it was just cut. Honestly, there was no reason for us to cut the ends besides give it that perfect stance. So I guess that is a good reason, right?
Okay.
But you can peel it with a knife, or you can use an actual peeler.
Yeah.
Whatever makes it convenient for you. But the beautiful thing about this dish is that you can actually have it rustic, so you do not have to go through the peeling process. You can go as simple as taking this potato
So is that the lazy way of doing it, or is that just the way in which it's like, hey,
it's the fast way to do it.
It's the fast way to do it. All right, so we're trying to cut a little time for it.
So what we'll do is that we'll cut it down right here.
Now let me ask you this though, because this is coming from the earth, how do you clean? What are you looking for? Should you be scrubbing it? What are you doing there?
You should definitely be taking your potatoes anywhere you get your potatoes, whether it's a farm or the grocery store. I like to personally to wash it down.
Okay.
Take all that dirt out of that potato so it looks beautiful. It's a rustic potato.
Okay.
So it's gonna look almost like it's darker than normal potatoes, like a fingerling.
Sure.
But for this one, you just want to make sure that you have that beautiful, vibrant, that there's no dirt, and you can always rub it to see if there's any dirt on your hands.
That comes off your hands? Okay.
So
that's kind of like a little test to make sure that you've actually cleaned it right. Okay.
100%.
Okay.
So for this application that we're doing today, we're gonna actually cut it down the way I just did. And then we're just peeling down all of this skin.
So if you don't have a vegetable peeler, this is a way you can get around that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're gonna cut it in quarters, so this is what you're gonna see.
All right, let's take the Chef cam out here, because I wanna see what we've got going. Because what are you working for in terms of the cut size? What are you looking for?
So what you're looking for is not a very, very large slice of or piece for the potato. You're looking for something that's gonna be cutting that the water can cook it at a little bit more faster pace.
Okay.
When the potatoes are too big, like if I put this potato in, it's gonna take much longer than if I'm gonna be on a smaller size like this.
So it's important to have uniform cuts then, is what you're saying? Okay.
100%.
And now how many potatoes would be the ideal amount to have for a dish like this?
3 to 4 potatoes will make the perfect amount.
Okay.
It's really your preference, but for this recipe, we do 3 to 4 potatoes.
Okay, absolutely. And for Chef Jonathan's full recipe for his mashed potatoes and this beautiful strip steak, go to our website, dinnerdeas.com, grab your phone, get the camera going for it, scan the QR code, it's gonna take you straight there. And I mean, we're still gonna keep going with some more potatoes here because as the Irishman in me goes, I need my potatoes. Because when we come back, we're gonna be making these mashed potatoes and preparing another delicious dish of sauteed broccolini that's still ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Meals you can make tonight because we'll show you how. Sharing his chef secrets with us today. This one gets you out of the chef club, I hope, right?
No, this is for all the viewers. This is all the viewers.
Awesome, because we're joined here with Chef Jonathan Rodriguez. He's the executive chef at Salimar in Tampa's Midtown, and he's making a New York strip. And once we have our mashed potatoes ready, we're going into that one because they've been cooking away during our break. So what do we got to do next, my friend?
So what we're doing right now is that we're getting the saucepan up. I raised it up to about mid-heat.
And what do you have already in there?
So in there, what I have is butter. I have whole butter that's not salted because you could buy either one.
Okay.
I have cream.
And why are you using unsalted butter then?
I'm using unsalted butter so I can be able to control my actual flavor through the process.
Okay.
So this is the cream that we're adding.
So we started off with a little bit of butter, unsalted, added some cream.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we added our whole butter. Here in this application, I have about 3 to 4 pieces, and then I add a little bit of whole milk.
Now, whole milk, what is the purpose of bringing that in when you already have cream and butter?
It just separates, because you're dealing with a butter and a cream that's both fat, right? So what it does, it just separates the actual culture of that dish.
Okay.
So that you have to be able to, it's like a little more airy.
Okay,
So
okay.
That's what that balance is. So it's not so much fat, and it doesn't make it so gummy. You know?
Okay, perfect.
So
Perfect.
Over here, of course, we have our steamed potatoes.
Nice, nice, nice.
I'm gonna take it to the other side.
Very
We're
cool.
gonna drain it.
Very cool. I'll watch the butter melt because like that's one of my favorite things is butter. I mean, isn't it for everybody? It's absolutely delicious and it's unsalted, so you get to control it all. And so there's a lot of dairy, but that's a good thing when you're working with potatoes though.
100%.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna toss it in this mixer right here.
Okay.
You make a little more livelihood here.
Nice.
So while we're doing this, we're gonna slowly lock it in and hit it with a soft stir.
Okay. Now you want to go starting with the potatoes first. You don't want to just throw everything in?
Yeah, no. You want to build your flavors. You want to build your flavors. So as this is melted, we're gonna add a little bit in here, and then we're gonna.
So we're gonna do this in batches?
We'll do it in batches. Correct.
Okay,
yes.
so slowly start incorporating
Correct.
what we've got here with our butter, our cream, and our milk.
We're gonna add some salt.
Okay.
I like to add some pepper.
I do too.
And then, of course, we can't leave out the burrata. So this burrata,
I'm intrigued because like literally you hear about mashed potatoes and sometimes people will put a Parmesan into it. Some will make like a cheddar. You're talking burrata. So why? And what is burrata then?
well, burrata is actually an Italian-style cheese. This cheese over here consists of a nice hard shell of mozzarella cheese. Inside is the cream and the curds that they go in and they put together. So before they go in and make that deliciousness of ball, they go in and they let it sit, air out, and you have that beautiful hard rim over here. This is our local cheese that we've got from Southern Provision, and I mean, it's just absolutely to die for.
Now, this is a cheese that's at the restaurant.
This is a cheese that we are not doing yet.
Okay.
But we are implementing it in the restaurant.
I love
Correct.
it. So spoiler alert,
So
this is the
spoiler
time
alert.
where like you guys should be getting ready because we're going into busy season at Salimar too, right?
Correct. We are going to a busy season. We have a lot of events going on. We throw one of the biggest New Year's Eve events here.
And you guys are doing it on the rooftop too?
Correct.
Awesome. I think it's so cool to be able to have a rooftop that you're just seeing everything, all the energy of the city coming alive like no other. I mean, we have it right up here on the stream, and it's absolutely beautiful to take in all of those views. I mean, how often do you go up there and just like say to yourself, man, I'm cooking food for great people. I'm cooking with a team that's incredible. I love this. I mean, because that's what I do when I go to see you guys
Absolutely.
up there.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe when you go up there in Salimar. Salimar gives you that two-tone type of experience. Yeah. When you're inside, you can have a beautiful dinner, and then when you're outside, you could just absorb the stars and the sky view just of Tampa. It's just absolutely breathtaking.
But more than that, you guys have dishes that are just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, literally some of the best. I mean, let's see what we've got here that we're cooking with. I mean, what is this dish here?
So this is our in-house famous chuleta con con. It's a custom cut for us. We have a beautiful garlic confit and it's nice fat pork belly around it. We serve it with tostones. We also do rice and cilantro, cilantro rice and beans.
I love it.
And then our next dish that you're seeing there is our in-house yuca mash with spatchcock chicken. And then on top is an escabeche. It's beautiful, very Caribbean style, so it gives that little Latin flair. And on the side, of course, you'll see that grilled broccolini, vibrant color.
And we're gonna be playing with some broccolini too right here too, because
we
for
sure
everything you need to make this dish for your dinner tonight, you can get the full recipe with all the ingredients at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just get your phone out, scan the QR code on the corner of your screen. It's gonna take you right there. What are you adding in next then?
So you this is what makes the merry-go-round, they say. This is actually the truffle oil that we're implementing. And we're gonna go and we're gonna take a quick little taste just to make sure that we're balancing.
Cheers to this one. Boom.
Cheers to this,
Boom.
right?
All right.
We'll lift it up.
And look at how
look at that.
It's just beautiful. Like
absolutely.
you can see all of that melt. Oh my gosh! Come on now.
You know this
Come
is
on
it.
now.
Absolutely to die for.
Killer.
Absolutely die for.
Killer.
Maybe a little more salt. And then we'll let this go. Lock it. And it's done. It's done.
Oh, absolutely. And let's go ahead and get to this broccolini going because this looks so fun.
So over here, the broccolini. I'm sorry, let me move this on this side.
Yeah, sure.
So broccolini is a very simple task, okay? So what we do here is we're gonna add a little bit of oil into the pan.
Okay, and we're just working with an olive oil to start
As I say, a little bit. We'll start off with the olive oil.
Okay.
But we're gonna take the broccolini and, you know, for this application, I like to cut those florets.
Okay.
And you can also eat the bottom, but you don't wanna go too deep right here.
Sure.
It just doesn't taste right. But
It's just not gonna have that right bite.
Correct.
All right, perfect.
But for this dish, we'll go in, we'll start a little bit of garlic, right? Just, you know, gotta in-house that. A little bit.
I love
And
it.
a broccolini is actually, again, you see it a lot in Italian restaurants, but we like to do a little flair to our broccolinis here. You know, we hit it with now of a lemon citrus.
Okay, it's just to brighten up the dish then?
It's to brighten up the dish and the actual taste because broccolini, it's not when you're tasting a traditional broccoli.
Okay.
So, but here we want to hit it up with a little bit of that white wine, of course.
Nice. Look at that.
And then it's more of a steam effect.
Sure.
Of course, we got to get our salt and pepper because, you know,
Always got to be.
there's not enough flair and just without the salt. You know?
Oh, absolutely. So while that cooks up, we're going to take a quick break because the strip is going to hit the pan as we get a Top Chef's top tips for the perfect New York strip steak. That's coming up on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Today, we're making a New York strip steak with Chef Jonathan Rodriguez from Salimar Restaurant in Tampa's Midtown. Before the break, we made mashed potatoes with the Burrata cheese and that truffle oil, side of broccolini, and we actually got a little started with the steak because now it's time for the main event. Look at that flip, my friend. Now, what were we looking for for this? What I see it looks absolutely beautiful. Tell me what you see here.
I see deliciousness.
All right, so deliciousness means that you're looking for a nice golden color, nice dark browns that are coming through.
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Oh, so what you're trying to do for this particular application is that you want to be able to sear both sides pretty hard, so you have that beautiful GBD, golden brown delicious.
Golden brown delicious, coined here first. And what it looks like it's also doing is rendering down some of that fat as well.
Absolutely. So when you see me, I'm cooking it on the side. I'm rendering down that end cap that's sitting on this steak.
Now, we didn't just put this into an empty pan, though. What did we start off with first?
So we started off with some extra virgin olive oil. You have selections of oils that of course, you can purchase. Canola oil, vegetable oil, but I like to use extra virgin olive oil.
And why do you like to use that?
I like it for two purposes. I like it because it tolerates the temperature very well, and I also love it because it gives also a beautiful taste. So, you know, so what I like to do here at this point is that as we're searing it, we'll take a couple of garlic cloves.
Okay.
And we'll just throw them right here. And we're gonna build that flair.
And I'm gonna bring out the Chef Jeff cam because I want you all at home to have a steak eye view of what's going into our pan here, so you can have everything that you need to make this at home. So we've got a little bit of garlic. We put a little bit of thyme.
A little bit of garlic, a little bit of thyme. Now we're just giving it a little imported flavor that I like to call it. We're gonna infuse it now on the outside.
Okay.
So while the inside comes already delicious because it's a beautiful steak, we're gonna now build that aromatic, that flair. We're gonna get that butter to mesh in with the oil.
Okay.
And what it's gonna do is gonna build that glaze on it.
Nice.
It's just
I mean, it's so important because, like, yes, sure, you could take a steak, put it into the pan, think that, like, that's it, I'm done. Or you could take it to the next level and do really what is the true restaurant style, which is basting. So now that you've got this melted butter, now all you're going to be doing is just tilting it.
So I'm tilting it towards me a little bit down, as you can see where my hand is, for where my body's located. And then that goodness, I'm just basting that top with all that goodness. I just, you know, that thyme and that butter and that garlic, you're just hitting it with just nothing but flair flavor over here. So this is another form of style of cooking.
Now, how do you know when not to do, or when you may get too hot of a heat where the butter starts to burn?
So when the butter starts to burn, well, it could work in two different ways, Jeff. Because you have butter that can start turning into brown butter, which you can utilize at any other application.
Sure.
But for application, we're trying to get that butter concept to be able to mesh with the oil. And you'll see that fat combined to get, you know, in a perfect manner.
And how do you know when it's ready then?
Well, you'll know when it's ready when, well, what are you talking about, for the base?
For when we know that everything is really kind of cooked on both sides, because if we're going to be basting and getting all of that butter there, how do we know when it's done to our liking here?
So it's a personal preference, to be honest. I mean, if you're going to be doing, like, for us, we're going to do more of a medium style cut. But for us here, we're not, if you wanted to do a mid-rare, this is a good application for the butter and the fat. But here, we're just gonna base it, we're gonna put it to the side, we're gonna take it out, we're gonna let it rest, and do everything else.
I love it. So we're gonna let this steak rest, and if you're getting hungry just watching this, you can find this recipe and have it be your dinner tonight by just going to dinnerdeas.com. Scan the QR code in the corner of your screen to get there. I cannot wait, because when we come back, I think it's taste test time. Let me check the watch. Oh, it is. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, forks at the ready. That's coming right ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're here every day answering life's biggest question. What's for dinner? Solving that problem today is Chef Jonathan Rodriguez from Salimar Restaurant in Tampa's Midtown. He made us a New York strip with a Burrata truffle mashed potato and this sauteed broccolini. My friend, it's time to dig right in.
Oh, it sure is.
Oh, this is one of my favorite steaks to work with, and I absolutely love a New York strip. I'm going for that first because I want to taste that. Such love and respect for it.
Such a balance. Taste the truffle.
Now I'm going in for that part. You get the truffle. You get the creaminess from the burrata. You get all of that flavor coming from the butter and the cream and the salt and pepper to it there. And then let's go with this broccolini. because the subtlety of that white wine, it just brightens it up, dude.
It sure does. It sure does. And that garlic, garlic's one of my favorite ingredients to work with. And you know, for this particular dish, it just hit so many different areas, honestly, Jeff.
It really does. And everyone here at home, thank you again to Chef Jonathan Rodriguez, executive chef at Salimar's restaurant in Midtown. For his recipe, head to our website, dinnerdeas.com, to get there even quicker. Get your phone out, scan the QR code in the corner of your screen, and as always, let us know if you're making this for your dinner. I'm Jeff Philbin. See you next time for more Dinner Dias. Thanks for watching Dinner Dias. And remember, anytime you're hungry for a great dinner idea, just go to dinnerdeas.com. That's dinner, DEEAS.com. You'll find the complete recipe featured on today's show, plus a whole list of other dinner ideas. Another way to find us is by opening the camera on your phone and scanning this QR code that will also take you to dinnerdeas.com. If you'd like to feature your favorite chef or restaurant on our show, just send an email to dinnerdeas@fox.com. That's dinnerdeas@fox.com. I'm Chef Jeff Philbin. Join us next time for another delicious dinner idea, or as we like to call them, Dinner Dias.